Heart failure, also known as congestive heart failure, CHF, is a chronic and progressive condition where the heart muscle is unable to pump blood effectively. This leads to insufficient blood flow to meet the body's needs for oxygen and nutrients, resulting in various symptoms and complications. Heart failure can be caused by various underlying conditions, including coronary artery disease, hypertension, myocardial infarction, and cardiomyopathy. It is a significant public health issue with high morbidity and mortality rates. Background and epidemiology. Prevalence. Heart failure affects approximately 64 million people worldwide. In the United States, over 6 million people have heart failure, and it's one of the leading causes of hospital admissions among older adults. Incidence. The incidence of heart failure increases with age, with a higher prevalence in individuals over 65 years old. Risk factors. Common risk factors include hypertension, diabetes mellitus, obesity, hyperlipidemia, smoking, family history of heart disease, and prior myocardial infarction. Pathophysiology of heart failure. Heart failure can be broadly classified into two types based on the ejection fraction: heart failure with reduced ejection fraction, HFrEF, also known as systolic heart failure. It occurs when the heart muscle is weak and unable to contract effectively, leading to a reduced ejection fraction, EF less than 40%. Heart failure with preserved ejection fraction, HFpEF, also known as diastolic heart failure. It occurs when the heart muscle is stiff and unable to relax properly, leading to impaired filling of the ventricles with a normal or near normal ejection fraction, EF greater than 50%. Key pathophysiological mechanisms. Neurohormonal activation. Heart failure leads to the activation of the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, RAS, and the sympathetic nervous system, SNS, which initially help maintain cardiac output but ultimately contribute to cardiac remodeling and worsening heart failure. Cardiac remodeling. Structural changes in the heart muscle, including hypertrophy, thickening of the heart muscle, and fibrosis, scarring, occur in response to chronic pressure or volume overload, reducing the heart's ability to pump effectively. Volume overload. Reduced cardiac output leads to fluid retention by the kidneys, causing volume overload, which exacerbates symptoms such as edema and pulmonary congestion. Inflammatory response. Inflammation plays a role in the progression of heart failure by promoting further myocardial damage and fibrosis. Clinical presentation. Symptoms. The symptoms of heart failure can vary depending on the severity of the condition but typically include dyspnea, shortness of breath, especially during exertion or while lying down, orthopnea, fatigue, generalized tiredness and weakness due to reduced cardiac output and oxygen delivery to tissues, edema, swelling, usually in the lower extremities, due to fluid retention, paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea, sudden shortness of breath at night, causing awakening, cough, often associated with pink, frothy sputum, indicative of pulmonary congestion, palpitations, awareness of an irregular or rapid heartbeat. Signs. Physical examination findings may include jugular venous distension, JVD, elevated jugular venous pressure, indicating right-sided heart failure, rales, crackling sounds heard over the lungs, indicating pulmonary edema, peripheral edema, swelling in the legs and ankles, S3 heart sound, a third heart sound, suggestive of volume overload, hepatomegaly, enlarged liver due to congestion in right-sided heart failure. 5. Diagnosis of heart failure. The diagnosis of heart failure is based on a combination of clinical evaluation, imaging, and laboratory tests. 5. History and physical examination. Detailed history to assess symptoms, risk factors, and physical signs of heart failure. 6. Electrocardiogram (ECG) to identify arrhythmias, ischemia, or other abnormalities. 7. Chest X-ray to assess heart size and look for signs of pulmonary congestion or edema. 8. Echocardiography, the most important imaging tool to assess cardiac structure and function, including ejection fraction and diastolic function. 9. Blood tests. OB type natriuretic peptide, BNP, or N-terminal pro-BNP, NT-proBNP, elevated levels suggest heart failure. O complete blood count, CBC, to identify anemia or infection. O liver and kidney function tests to assess the impact of heart failure on other organs. 10. Cardiac MRI provides detailed information on myocardial structure and function, especially useful in diagnosing cardiomyopathies. 11. Coronary angiography may be indicated if ischemic heart disease is suspected. 6. Management of heart failure goals of management: alleviate symptoms, improve quality of life, slow disease progression, reduce hospitalization and mortality. Lifestyle modifications, dietary changes, low sodium diet to reduce fluid retention, fluid restriction in severe cases. Exercise, regular physical activity tailored to the patient's tolerance to improve cardiovascular health. Smoking cessation, essential to prevent further cardiovascular damage. Weight management, control body weight to reduce the burden on the heart. Pharmacological therapy. 12. Diuretics, for symptom relief by reducing fluid overload, e.g., furosemide, spironolactone. 13. ACE inhibitors, ARBs, reduce mortality and morbidity by inhibiting the RAS, e.g., lisinopril, losartan. 14. Beta blockers, improve survival and reduce hospitalizations by inhibiting the SNS, e.g., carvedilol, metoprolol. 15. Aldosterone antagonists, provide additional diuretic effect and reduce mortality in advanced heart failure, e.g., spironolactone. 16. ARNI, angiotensin receptor neprilysin inhibitors, newer class that combines an ARB with a neprilysin inhibitor to reduce mortality, e.g., sacubitril, valsartan. 17. SGLT2 inhibitors, originally used for diabetes, now shown to reduce heart failure hospitalization and mortality, e.g., empagliflozin, dapagliflozin. 18. Ivabradine, reduces heart rate in patients with chronic heart failure with a resting heart rate above 70 bpm despite beta blocker therapy. 19. Digoxin, may be used in select patients for symptom relief and rate control in atrial fibrillation. Device therapy. 20. Implantable cardioverter defibrillator, ICD, for primary or secondary prevention of sudden cardiac death in patients with reduced ejection fraction. 21. Cardiac resynchronization therapy, CRT, for patients with heart failure and ventricular dyssynchrony, improving symptoms and survival. Advanced therapies. 22. Mechanical circulatory support, O left ventricular assist device, LVAD, used as a bridge to transplantation or as destination therapy in end-stage heart failure. 23. Heart transplantation, the definitive treatment for end-stage heart failure in select patients. 7. Case presentation. Patient profile. Mr. John Doe, a 68-year-old male, presents with worsening shortness of breath over the past month, fatigue, and swelling in his legs. He has a history of hypertension and type 2 diabetes mellitus. Clinical evaluation. Symptoms: dyspnea on exertion, orthopnea, paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea, and bilateral lower extremity edema. Physical examination. Elevated jugular venous pressure, Raleigh in bilateral lung bases, and S3 heart sound, and pitting edema in the lower extremities. Investigations. ECG shows left ventricular hypertrophy and non-specific STT changes. Chest X-ray, cardiomegaly with pulmonary congestion. Echocardiogram, left ventricular ejection fraction of 35%, left ventricular hypertrophy, and mild mitral regurgitation. BNP, elevated at 1200 pg per milliliter, normal less than 100 pg per milliliter. Diagnosis: heart failure with reduced ejection fraction, HFrEF. Management plan: lifestyle modifications, low sodium diet, fluid restriction, daily weight monitoring, and referral to a cardiac rehabilitation program for supervised exercise. Medications: initiation of furosemide, loop diuretic, for fluid overload, lisinopril, ACE inhibitor, for afterload reduction, carvedilol, beta blocker, for SNS inhibition, and spironolactone, aldosterone antagonist, for additional diuretic effect and neurohormonal blockade. Follow-up: regular follow-up to monitor symptoms, adjust medications, and assess for potential side effects and complications. 8. Conclusion: heart failure is a complex and multifactorial disease that requires a comprehensive approach to management. Early diagnosis, patient education, and a combination of lifestyle modifications, pharmacological therapy, and advanced interventions can significantly improve outcomes for patients with heart failure. Ongoing research and advancements in treatment options continue to enhance the quality of life and survival rates for those affected by this condition.